This could make a cold open.
This could make a cold open.
Let's preface this.
I watched a Dateline special.
Yes.
I mean, we never preface the cold opens, but
That's
whatever. On Sailor Moon, the Dateline special was from the 90s, because I don't think Dateline has existed since the 90s.
Nor has Sailor Moon.
I didn't watch all of it, because it got into a segment that was really just the most cringe thing I've ever seen. Where it was just a dude asking the voice actors for Lita and Mina, Venus and Jupiter, to act out improv scenes, and it was the worst. I was in hell.
That sounds awful.
But the part I did see was mostly about how Japanese toys were invading America. Also,
that's a phrasing.
Also, there was a bit where they brought a lot of attention to the fact that Sailor Moon is blonde, and that's not a thing a lot of Japanese girls are. And Naoki Takeuchi's hair is black.
Is it?
Yeah. They thought that was super important.
That's how strange that a person would write a character with a different hair color than them.
Hello, and welcome to Late to School. I'm Lorena.
And I'm emotional.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. I'm glad you are. Do we have any rock facts or anything this week?
We don't really have any rock fact. Is metal a rock? Because I do have a metal fact.
Oh, right. Yeah, metal's important.
Because because I realized we got a new sailor, and I didn't bring up the alchemical metals thing again.
Oh, right.
We did last time. We talked about how the moon is associated with silver, so that's that's interesting to sort of reiterate. Venus associated with copper.
Okay.
And refresher, Mars is iron, Mercury is mercury.
Did we go over Jupiter? Did we skip Jupiter?
We may have. Jupiter is tin.
Okay.
Which is kind of the most boring metal, which is a shame.
I guess.
I find tin to be...
Tin is good. You combine copper and tin, you make bronze.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Are cans ever made of tin anymore, or is it just aluminum?
I don't know.
Welcome to our metal watchcast.
Metal...
And you may be thinking, oh, metal like the music. No. Metal like the rocks.
Yeah. We could make an entire podcast about various forms of rock. I mean... Not the music, again. That's funny.
Yeah.
They're both music.
Yeah, Anyway.
Sailor Moon. Ripped out my heart.
Good.
And let's talk about that.
So our first episode this week is 35. Returning Memories, Usagi and Mamoru's Past. It was directed by Takuya Igarashi, who is a name that I don't think I've seen before. I think he's new.
Really?
Or I'm not as clear on the genders of various Japanese names as I maybe should be.
It's interesting they would get a new face for such a sort of vital
episode. I could
be
wrong. I could be remembering, or I could be forgetting him.
That's fair.
Them showing up in other episodes. But it was written by Katsuyuki Sumisawa, who is a mainstay.
Right.
It aired December 5th, 1992 in Japan, and October 23rd, 1995 in English.
Okay. So...
we kind of open up where we left off.
Well, first of all, pre-cap speech. The pre-cap speech is very important to me in this episode.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't know if it would be.
So, Usagi says, "What could this warm glow be? Am I really the Moon Princess? I don't know how to deal with this. Or what to do anymore. What can I do? Tuxedo mask, everyone, lend me your strength." And... so, I don't say this part every time, but in every other recap, she has said some variation on, in the name of the moon, I'll punish you.
Yeah.
And she doesn't here.
Oh.
She just flat out does not say it here.
Huh.
Which feels like that's like, that, so, drawing back the curtain, in response to my, game theory ass sort of confusion last episode, Lorena prefaced me watching these episodes with, be sure to open your heart to the emotions in the episode and not just focus on...
Why are you calling me out like this?
Because fucking... I want to preface it. I opened myself up for that, so I was very receptive to the fact that that she didn't say... in the name of the moon, I'll punish you, left me fucking empty and weird at the beginning of this episode.
Okay. Alright.
Like, that was a good sort of preface.
Mm-hmm. After that, we get, like, a recap of the events of the previous episode, which I don't think we mentioned that is also the case for last episode.
Yes.
All three of these last episodes just sort of go one to the other.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you said, we do open up sort of right where we left off. We're inside the Starlight Tower, the weird fucking Geiger Tower.
Yeah.
And Usagi is the Moon Princess, and Mamoru is dead.
Yep.
And Luna, we get like a close-up on Luna, and her forehead moon bald spot starts glowing.
Yeah. All the sailors in Luna basically recap their reactions from the end of the last episode.
Yes.
They're all like, Usagi, what's going on? And Luna's like, the Moon Princess, it's her.
She says, Sailor Moon, you're the princess. Princess Serenity. So we have a name.
Yeah, Princess Serenity.
Serenity. And everyone is shocked.
Yeah.
And about that, and also about Tuxedo Mask being Mamoru.
Yes.
This is a eventful day for our kids. And Usagi sort of kneels down and just rests Mamoru's head in her lap.
Yeah.
But hey, Zoicide's still here.
Zoicide has not
BT
left.
Dubs. This is weird, in the same room, sort of same situation. And Zoicide attacks Usagi. And Usagi no-sells it.
Just completely.
She just fucking stands up, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, I don't think she even stands up.
She doesn't stand up.
She just stays kneeling with Mamoru's head on her lap, and just her hair blows back, and she does not move.
Yeah. And then she raises the moonstick, still not standing. And
I don't think even looking at Zoicide.
No, not at all. She just fucking blasts him into a wall.
Yes.
And then gently puts the moonstick down next to her.
Yes, it's very cool.
Before we get too far, I want to talk about, for a second, the princess dress, Serenity's dress.
Yes, okay.
Because it's a very distinctive dress.
Yes.
Because it was based on a real dress.
Really? Okay.
It was based on the Palladio gown from Christian Dior's Spring 1992 line.
Okay, that's very specific. Okay.
Yeah. And the dress is like, it's basically just inspired by Greek columns.
Oh, cool.
Also, this isn't strictly relevant to Sailor Moon, but Christian Dior is the person who Sebastian Dior from the Cowbell episode of Utena was based on.
We really can't go one episode without talking about Utena, can we?
Nope. Listen, we got an Ikuhara episode this week.
Do we?
Yeah, spoilers.
Okay, cool. But yeah, okay, the Greek column thing is interesting for reasons I'll get to in a bit. So like we said, Usagi fucking wrecks Zoicide's shit. And then starts crying because she's sad that Tuxedo Mask got hurt because of her. And then Mamoru stirs and says Serenity's name, and says that he's able to remember everything now.
Yep.
And he says that he is Endymion. And Usagi, that sort of jogs Usagi's memory too. And we get a dreamlike flashback to the Moon Kingdom.
Yep.
Which, how would you describe,
God,
it's flowery, I think.
There's a lot of flowers, there's a lot of silver.
There's a lot of silver, I feel like there's a lot of Greek columns.
I guess
like,
it is kind of
it's a
Greek.
very Greek architecture,
Yeah.
which feels appropriate.
I have trouble describing what the architecture looks like because
That's fair.
It feels so distinctive and unique.
Yeah. And we see Usagi / Serenity and Mamoru / Endymion. I want to point out this is where these characters now have 3 names each. They are standing on a balcony overlooking a lake.
A lake on the moon.
A lake on the moon. Well, there's seas on the moon.
Is that true?
Yeah, like the Sea of Serenity.
Okay, great.
They're not liquid water. They're just they're just sort of dust.
Yeah.
And we see them like turn and they're holding hands and Serenity gives Endymion the star-shaped music box. I think also we see like Endymion's outfit.
Yes, we do.
This is the first time we've seen the Endymion outfit, which is this like military, like old style, like military suit of like it has armor. I wouldn't call it a suit of armor, but like he has pauldrons.
Yeah.
He's got a sword on his hip, I believe.
Yeah, and of course he has a cape.
I don't think he doesn't have a hat.
He does not have a hat. No. Just kind of letting his hair fly free.
Yeah, but Serenity gives him the star-shaped music box that we've seen, the little music box necklace thing, and it plays the song, the like melancholy version of the main theme of the show, and we see them sort of float into the sky.
Yeah, it's very dreamlike.
Yeah, they're holding hands and they embrace, and then everything catches fire. Endymion sort of draws his sword and charges off, and then Serenity just screams his name as he disappears into the fire. And then we return to the present, and Usagi says, "Endymion, you're Endymion, my one true love." And then Usagi starts to glow.
Yep.
Usagi has entered the Avatar state.
She's powering down, so
I guess that's true. She's
exiting the Avatar state.
Yes, this was her Avatar state. Her hair is blown back, and she just reverts back into her normal sailor uniform.
Yeah. Hey, I just realized something. Have we talked about... So we've talked about Usagi's first name. Have we talked about her last name?
We haven't.
Tsukino?
Real quick, before you say this, actually, I have a thought about her last name already, which is that I've heard it said in both the opening song and also in the new credits song.
Well, you've heard... So, I don't think you've heard Tsukino, but you've heard Suki, which is Japanese for moon.
Oh... That's probably... Okay, I just got confused. I just assumed it was Tsukino. It might be like Suki Na or something like that. Yeah, or
Suki space no.
Right. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Her name is just Moon Rabbit. Speaking of names... Yeah. I'm glad you interrupted me with that. Endymion.
Yes.
I looked this up because I was thinking, like, that's a very distinctive name.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like...
I always just assumed it was some nonsense.
You thought it was, like, original to the show.
Yeah.
I looked it up. Endymion is a figure in Greek mythology.
Oh, okay.
And he's a... I have this page, I have this Wikipedia page open still. He was variously a handsome Aeolian shepherd, hunter, or king, who was said to rule and live at Olympia in Elis. But that's not the most interesting thing. The most interesting thing about Endymion is that he was the lover of Selene, the moon goddess.
Great. Perfect. Wonderful. God, Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, good. Name's good. But yeah, Usagi has gone back to normal. And I believe sort of passes out.
She's reverted to her sailor uniform. She hasn't gone back to normal.
Yes. She's one level of superhero down now.
Yeah.
And she sort of collapses. And the girls, like, all call her name and rush over. Ami catches her before she can, like, fall. And Minako... This is kind of a funny... It's not supposed to be. This is a funny line to me. Minako checks her pulse and says she's okay, she just passed out.
Yeah.
Which is not... Listen, I know in fiction, passing out is generally just, whatever.
Yeah.
Passing out is bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
If she passed out, she is not okay.
No.
But Artemis surmises that it must have been her memories of being the princess rushing back and overloading her mind.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I'm not gonna be weird about that.
If you remembered a bunch of shit about a past life, that would suck.
Yeah. And Rei kneels down by Mamoru and starts, shaking him, asking if he's okay, but he doesn't respond. And Mako says he seems to be in pretty bad shape, and Mamoru sort of grunts in pain. Meanwhile, Zoisite is back on his feet. He's recovered. It took him an entire weird dream flashback sequence, but he's okay now. Not really totally okay. He sort of struggles to his feet. And tells the Guardians that he won't let them get away. And then Kunzite teleports in. And Zoisite tells Kunzite about Sailor Moon being the Moon Princess. And Kunzite sees the silver crystal atop the moonstick. Silver crystal is so much... I can't say silver crystal atop the moonstick. Silver crystal, that's ooh, dramatic. Yeah. Fantasy. This is a fantasy realm. Moonstick.
The moon, don't even worry about it. It's the moonstick.
It's a fucking drug from Star Wars. Hey, you want to buy some moonsticks?
You get those on Hutta, right?
Yeah. Anyway, the other Guardians sort of prep to defend Usagi, and Kunzite tells them he'll let them live a little longer, and then just blasts some dark energy at them. And Mamoru gets encased in a black orb, and then gets teleported away.
Yep.
As well as Kunzite and Zoisite. And Rei yells out in dismay, and I just noticed that rhymed in your notes.
Oh, it does, yeah.
But this is not a good time for rhyming.
No.
Because this is very upsetting.
This is very upsetting.
And Rei just asks where they could have taken him. And then we cut to Kunzite and Zoisite having... Oh god, I forgot.
Yeah, are you ready to talk about this? Have you prepared emotionally?
I haven't. This is the worst this is the second worst scene. This is the third worst scene in this episode.
There are a lot of those.
Yeah. I'm upset. Kunzite and Zoisite are back in the Dark Kingdom.
Yeah. They are sort of reporting to Queen Beryl.
Yes, who is berating them for losing the silver crystal and awakening the Moon Princess. Which...
To be fair, that's a big fuck up. But also, they couldn't have known.
They couldn't have possibly foreseen this. You know?
Sailor Moon? The Moon Princess? Couldn't be.
Couldn't be her. Kunzite says that he has no excuses. But fortunately, the princess doesn't have full control over the moon crystal, the silver crystal.
I mean, it is a moon crystal.
It is a moon crystal, I guess. And just asks for a little more time, and Beryl agrees.
That's the fucking modus operandi of the Four Kings of Heaven. just a little more time. Just give me an extension on my essay, Professor. I'll get it done.
I'm glad you're trying to make me laugh in my time of pain.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to soften the blow.
So Beryl agrees, and then turns her attention to Zoisite.
Yeah.
And asks if he's ready to accept his doom. And...
Not the eternal sleep.
Not the eternal sleep, just his doom. And Zoisite begs for her to give him another chance, but Beryl is having none of it. She's very disappointed that he tried to kill Tuxedo Mask against her orders. Kunzite tries to take responsibility to bargain.
I might be starting to cry a little bit.
Yeah, to bargain for Zoisite's life, but Beryl doesn't acknowledge him, and she just instantly, like, fucking ripping a Band-Aid off in reverse. Like, ripping a Band-Aid on. Fucking blast Zoisite away.
Mm-hmm.
And Kunzite watches in horror as he gets blasted back, and Beryl tells him to dispose of that trash.
Yeah.
And he reluctantly agrees.
Yeah.
And we sort of see Zoisite knocked out.
And he's just...
limp.
He's limp and smoldering. And I'm very sad.
Mm-hmm. It gets worse.
Yeah,
Don't
it does.
even worry about it.
Yeah, it does.
So...
Then...
First of all, Beryl...
Uh-huh.
can get fucked.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely.
We're sort of I've sort of been going up the like Jadeite can get fucked. No Nephrite can go. No Zois. Maybe Beryl.
Yeah.
Maybe Beryl can go fuck herself.
Maybe Beryl sucks.
But we see Queen Beryl. There's a cut here.
Mm-hmm.
We see Queen Beryl back at the Great Ruler's weird goop coffin.
I don't know how to describe this thing.
Goop coffin.
Yeah, goop
what
coffin,
I would say.
I guess.
And with Mamoru's unconscious body
Mm-hmm.
in like a weird rib cage crib.
Is he
stone.
in that yet?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think she's put him in there already. Now Beryl does say something interesting here.
Yeah.
Which is, she says, "Oh, great ruler, Queen Metalia, I call on you to awaken now."
Uh-huh.
So we have a name.
Queen Metalia.
For the great ruler, the Queen Metalia.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I guess...
Yeah.
I guess that kind of works with the scheme.
Yeah.
Again, like we've established, metals are kind of rocks.
Yeah.
And then Queen Metalia stirs from her slumber somehow. She needed a lot of human energy last time for that, but, you know.
Yeah.
And then... everything they say in this scene is actually very interesting. Pretty much every line in this scene is very interesting.
I think I basically wrote down the script for the whole scene.
Yeah, because Queen Metalia says, "Oh, Endymion, how I've missed you."
Mm-hmm.
And Queen Beryl says that she never imagined the former prince of the Kingdom of Earth would end up being reincarnated in this era.
Yep.
And then Queen Metalia tells Queen Beryl that whatever the circumstances, she must heal Endymion with the power of darkness immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So,
first of all, I was wrong. It was Queen Metalia who wanted Endymion. I made a bet last episode that Queen Beryl was the one who wanted him.
Right. Well, I think it would be accurate to say it's both.
Yeah, but my thing was, I said that Beryl was lying that Queen Metalia wanted Tuxedo Mask.
I guess we don't know that Metalia knew ahead of now.
I guess that's fair.
She still could have been lying. But yeah, then we get to the second worst scene.
Okay.
What's up?
It seemed like you wanted to sort of break down the reveals in that scene.
Yeah, so Tuxedo Mask / Mamoru Chiba is a reincarnation of the man Endymion, who was both at one point a lover of Princess Serenity, who is also now Usagi.
Yes. And
he was also a servant of the Dark Kingdom.
Yes. And Prince of Earth. And
Prince of the Kingdom of Earth. So, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's already sort of a lot. I don't. Just some real Steven Universe vibes. I'm getting.
Yeah. Here. It's almost like Steven Universe was really inspired by anime.
Yeah, almost. But then we get to the second worst scene.
So
we've gone from the third to the second, so you know it's still downhill from here. So
Kunzite has taken Zoisite to, I guess, sort of like a burial chamber or something.
Yeah, like
Zoisite
an altar
is lying atop like a stone altar, I guess, or maybe it's a coffin. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be something like a coffin.
And Kunzite is kneeling in front of the coffin,
and asks Zoisite for forgiveness, saying that he tried to convince Queen Beryl to bring him back. But then Zoisite weakly like, opens his eyes
Mhm.
and smiles. And they do that. The animators and the writers, they do that just to give me hope. So they can crush it.
So they can take it away.
Kunzite pulls Zoisite up into an embrace, and Zoisite says that he's sure Kunzite tried his best, and he's just happy that he gets to die in Kunzite's arms.
Mhm.
And he asks Kunzite if he could grant him one last wish, and Kunzite, of course, agrees.
Mhm. Not the first time I watched this episode, because I watched this episode for the first time with the bad dub.
Right.
But the second time, when I watched the Viz dub, I was sobbing at this point.
I was close.
Yeah.
I was pretty close to crying.
Even this time, I was like, oh no. I was really crying.
And Zoisite says, I want to die in a beautiful place. And Kunzite throws his cape back and conjures a beautiful field of flowers.
Yeah.
With pink petals flying, or sort of floating down through the air. And Zoisite says that it's perfect and thanks Kunzite for everything. And says, know this in your heart, Kunzite, I will always love you. And Zoisite dies, and Kunzite sort of hugs him close and says, and I will love you, Zoisite. And then we see, there's like a lingering shot on Kunzite with just his like cape flowing behind him, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
And then we hit commercial break.
And then commercial break.
As I die.
Yep. Well, you know what can help with that? Life insurance.
Yeah.
God.
What's up?
Hey, life insurance companies, get at us. We can put some ads for you in here.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about this. If we wanted ads on this show, if anybody ever decides to pay us for this garbage, the commercial breaks would be a perfect like slot to put an actual commercial in.
Yeah, Anyway, life insurance companies are exploitative and awful, and I would never support them or advertise for them.
Fair. Blue Apron, though.
I don't even know about Blue Apron.
If you want to get at
us. I
think
think they might be up to some shady shit.
Really?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm making shit up.
Don't slander.
You can cut this if you want.
Whatever. We're back.
Return from commercial break.
Yeah. The Guardians have sort of left the observation deck and are looking for the way out. The tower is like clearly in fucking ruins at this point.
Yeah.
But it's like still like labyrinthine and impossible to navigate.
Yeah.
Mako is carrying an unconscious Usagi on her back. Minako asks Ami if she's sure they're going the right way, and Ami says that she should be. It seems like so Ami is leading this sort of search.
She's got her visor.
Yeah, her computer visor. Ami says...
Yeah, I wrote this quote down. Ami says some fucking shit.
Ami says, verbatim, but we do have a problem. Amazingly enough, this appears to be a completely sealed projective space. I mean, theoretically, it's not connected to the three-dimensional space we just came from. It's more of a two-dimensional space. You see, the polarity of this tunnel is in inverse phase, and it's connected to the other space through a zero dimension.
As she says this, we see Luna starting to sweat.
Yes.
And Artemis's eyes twitching.
So...
Yeah.
None of that...
I don't know what the fuck any of that means.
It was anything.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure none of it was anything. It was probably something in this universe, because Ami's just super smart. And
her IQ is over 9,000.
Yeah, sure is. But Luna expresses gratefulness that we have Sailor Mercury around to figure this shit out. Yeah. I kind of like that as just an explanation for what the deal with this tower is. It's just like, here's some technobabble. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, Mako basically just says they have to move or the Dark Kingdom will probably catch up with them. Yeah. And Usagi starts to stir on Mako's back. and everyone sort of watches as she wakes up, and she looks around a bit and then sort of shoves off of Mako, and demands to know where Tuxedo Mask is.
Yeah.
And she quietly panics and asks...
Demand sounds a lot more... She's scared. She's very scared.
Yes. She panics and asks if he's dead. But Rei yells that he's still alive, and tells Usagi...
Like, everyone else is just being quiet as she panics because they don't want to say anything.
Yes. Rei is never quiet.
Except for Rei.
She tells Usagi that the enemy took him away and they don't know where he is. And Artemis steps forward and asks everyone to listen up. And so now that the princess is awake, we have to hear the full story.
We gotta hear the full story.
We gotta hear the full story, the whole story. And he asks Luna if she noticed that all of her memories returned.
Yeah.
And Luna says that she did. And Mako asks what they're talking about. And Minako says that he's talking about their previous lives and the Moon Kingdom Silver Millennium. And Artemis goes into exposition mode.
Yeah.
And we get a sort of a flashback thing showing us.
Yeah. It's also very dreamlike.
Yes. He and Luna explain that a long time ago, there was a kingdom on the moon called Silver Millennium.
Yeah.
And it was a peaceful paradise. And we see, like, a palace full of, like, a palace with a courtyard full of flowers. And we see Princess Serenity sitting in, picking flowers when someone approaches her. And we see her walking down a corridor next to this someone who is a taller woman wearing a white dress and who has a very similar but also very popular hairstyle.
Yeah.
We don't see this woman's face.
No. We do see her multiple times in this sequence, though.
Yes. And they stop and look out a sort of window. Or like an archway, I think. I don't think it's like glass or anything. But they look out at Earth in the sky. And Artemis explains that the Earth was taken over by an evil entity. And then its forces attack the Moon Kingdom to steal the power of the Silver Crystal. And we see the taller woman holding the moonstick. And also flanked by the Sailor Guardians. Yeah. And Artemis says that the Moon Kingdom was destroyed, but they managed to seal the entity away with the Silver Crystal. And we get, like, a visual of that, very similar to a visual that we see in the opening. Yeah. Where we see, like, Usagi in the princess dress, like, blasting a bunch of, like, dark creatures, like, away in a big, massive, like, aura. We get that, except it's this woman and using the moonstick, and she's flanked by the Sailor Guardians, not solo amongst these monsters. And then we come back to the present. Artemis finishes the story and tells the Guardians that they are reincarnations of the ones that fought the Earth Kingdom. And Mako asks if that means they're all beings from this moon world. Which is... You mean the moon? Hey, Mako, you mean the moon?
Listen, the moon doesn't have kingdoms on it.
As far as you know.
As far as you know, yeah.
What aren't they telling us?
A lot.
A lot. NASA? Armstrong?
Fucking, come on.
Aldrin?
Yeah.
I'm so sad that I forgot the third guy's name. I always forget the third guy's name. I'm so...
It's not Gagarin, is it?
No. I think it's Michael something. Anyway.
Anyway.
Minako says that they're not, they're not aliens.
No.
They are all from Earth. Their parents are their actual parents. But the Moon Queen... Luna explains, the Moon Queen wanted the princess and the 4 guardians to live happily as ordinary humans and chose this era for reincarnation because it was so peaceful.
The 90s? Very peaceful.
Maybe in Japan?
Maybe. It's also the beginning of the 90s, so maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot there. There's a lot of questions there. But it didn't work.
No.
Because they weren't expecting the Dark Kingdom to have tried to release Queen Metalia into the world in this era. And Luna apologizes and says if it weren't for them, they would have all lived peaceful lives. But if they don't protect the Silver Crystal, there won't be a future for anyone.
Right.
And Minako says that she believes it's their destiny to fight, and says, we can't allow the tragedies of the past to be repeated. We have to work together and defeat this threat. And Rei and Mako agree. Ami doesn't speak up at this point.
I don't think Ami says anything. She's too busy standing.
She's busy. But Usagi tells him to count her out.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record...
Is this the worst scene?
This is the worst scene in the episode. This is the part... I'll get to that. She starts to cry and says that she's sorry, but she's sick of fighting. And everyone is sort of shocked for some reason. Luna asks if she's serious, and Minako is sort of especially aghast, I guess, saying like, "How can you talk like that? You're the princess." And Usagi says, "You say I'm the princess, but the truth is I don't feel like one, and I'm not even sure I want to be one. I'm Usagi, not Serenity." And Luna asks if she understands that she has a mission, and Usagi stands up and yells that she doesn't care about the mission. Her previous life has nothing to do with her. She's tired of risking their lives fighting all the time. And she says, we see sort of like flashbacks to the like Zoocyte's crystal stabbing Mamoru in the back.
Yeah.
And she says, I keep thinking, what if all of you end up just like Mamoru? And this is where I start crying. This is the bit where I start crying.
Yep.
And this is also the bit where Usagi continues to cry and says that she's tired of being sad. And then Rei walks up and slaps her.
Just slaps her right across the face.
Just slaps her right across the face. And yells and calls Usagi a coward. And Usagi snaps back that Rei is right. She's not strong. She says, I'm not strong like you. And then she sees Rei's face. And then we cut to see Rei's face. And we see that Rei is also crying.
Yeah.
Which is the part where I start crying more. And Rei says, you cry, baby, to me and also Usagi. Mamoru got hurt protecting you, and this is how you pay him back? And Artemis is not... Artemis isn't as used to this as Luna probably is.
No.
And so he's just like, hey, can we, let's everybody calm down.
Everybody take 5.
He says Sailor Moon just needs time to think. Luna objects, actually, to that. But Ami says that they should give her some space, and the old Usagi will return, she says. And more importantly, she says, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
She found the exit.
I mean, they do need...
It's more urgent, I guess.
It's more urgent.
Luna does the fucking mom thing of like, we're not done talking about this, but let's do this other thing first. And they start to leave, and Kunzite's here.
Kunzite's here.
They took exactly enough time to get caught by Kunzite.
Hey, remember when Mako said if they took too much time, Kunzite would find them?
He did.
Yep.
And Usagi is terrified.
Yeah.
And backs away in fear, but the other guardians move to sort of protect her. And Minako tells Luna and Artemis to take cover, and they run off. And Minako also tells the other 3 to protect Usagi, but Mako steps up and says she'll fight with Minako. Girlfriends.
Great. Yep.
Kunzite tells them they're wasting their time. And Mako uses Supreme Thunder. And Kunzite absorbs it in a big sort of tentacly darkness sphere.
Yeah. And
Minako uses Crescent Beam. And he absorbs that one also.
Yeah.
And Ami explains that in this dimension, Kunzite can absorb all of their attacks. Couldn't have explained that. Couldn't have said that earlier.
I guess she just figured it out.
Maybe. So Rei asks, what are we supposed to do? And Kunzite responds on behalf of Ami by saying, die.
Uh-huh.
And Kunzite blasts Mako and Minako with a ball of energy.
I think he's turning their attacks back on them.
Yes. I think it even, like, it looks like... It's very, like, electric.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's, like, supposed to be,
and also it's
like...
the same color as the crescent beam.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Are those different colors from, like, Mako's electricity?
Yeah, the electricity is usually green.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
I guess I haven't noticed that. But yeah, he blasts both Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Venus back with a ball of energy, and they fall to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And they struggle back up and ask Kunzite if that's all he's got, and it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Because he then makes an even bigger dome of, like, electricity and shit, and then shoots it at them, and they just collapse on the ground.
Yeah.
And Usagi recoils in horror, and Rei turns to Ami and tells her to watch after the princess. And she tells Usagi to be strong and to accept her destiny. And Kunzite berates her for wasting his time.
Mm-hmm. Also, the music gets really sad. Yes,
the music is very sad in this scene. She uses Fire Soul, and Kunzite throws the Fire Soul back at her, and she collapses too.
Mm-hmm.
So, these Cameron vibes.
Yeah.
Cameron vibes to that scene where Usagi just watched as all her friends slowly got fatal framed one by one. And then Kunzite prepares to attack Usagi, but Ami stands in the way, and Kunzite blasts her, and she doesn't, like, move at first.
She doesn't move at first or fall over. She kind of holds her ground for a bit.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she is the least, like, physical fighter of the Sailor Guardians,
right?
But she's, like, standing up the most to this attack, but then gets knocked over by sort of the second wave of the attack, as does Usagi. And Usagi tells her to hold on, and she tells Usagi to be brave, which is never a thing you want someone to say
You never want someone to say that to you.
You never want to say them to say be brave. And then Ami sort of falls unconscious. But then Usagi also hears some voices. She hears the other girls giving her words of encouragement. Psychically, I guess.
Yeah. They have a bond.
They have a bond. Also, her head bun things.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, they have the radio thing.
I guess.
It could be psychic.
Sure.
We haven't seen that since the first episode of the show, but still. They all sort of give... Because this isn't, like, repeating what they've already said. They're giving new, like, words of encouragement. And she is moved by all their feelings and says that she'll try. And she stands and asks Tuxedo Mask to give her strength. And she hears Tuxedo Mask telling her to fight and to raise the silver crystal, and she does. And Kunzite says, "So you've chosen to plunge into hell on your own, is that right, princess? That's fine with me. I will now have my revenge for Zoisite's death." Kind of just misplaced anger.
Yeah.
Misplaced anger.
Yeah, Queen Barrel's the one who killed him.
Kill Queen Barrel. Kill Queen Barrel. Help us kill Queen Barrel. Kunzite.
Come on.
And Kunzite attacks her with dark energy, but the moonstick protects her. So now the shoe is on the other foot in this fucking dark dimension. She's the one who's absorbing his attacks. And light shines from Usagi and repels the dark tentacle.
Also, the
thing.
the moonstick makes a little tune that we're going to be hearing a lot of from now on.
That's right. I forgot about that. It has, like, we see a little, like, a Bop It logo just show up on the side. It just, like, does a little circle. It does a loading circle as it loads her attack, and does a little tune. And light just emerges from every window on the tower, and then the tower just vanishes completely.
Yeah.
And Kunzite teleports away.
Also, I want to say, Usagi fucking goes for it. She screams.
Yes.
And it's very good.
It's very cool. And then we cut back to the Dark Kingdom, where Mamoru has been placed in a magic tube.
Yeah.
And Beryl is watching over him. The tube has, like, these, like, dark circles that, like, keep sort of moving past Mamoru. It's like it's clear, like, this is the healing with the power of darkness.
Yeah.
And he stirs in his sleep and says Serenity's name, and Beryl is standing over him and says, Endymion, she haunts you. You still cannot forget about her. But no matter how much you love Serenity, it is a love that can never be. So.
Yeah.
And then we cut back. Usagi has left the sort of ruins of the tower and is praying.
Kind of.
Like over the ocean as the sun rises. And she thanks Tuxedo Mask for his help. And we hear Minako's voice behind her. And she and the other guardians are awake. They're fine. They're not dead. And they thank her for saving them. And Rei asks if this means she'll fight with them. And Usagi says she will. And Luna and Artemis compliment Usagi and the rest of the guardians and tell them if they do their best, they can overcome any obstacle.
Also, Artemis is like, I guess you would say that means phase 1 is complete. His fucking 5-step plan to defeat the Dark Kingdom.
Okay. Real quick. No, let's finish this episode. Usagi just turns back to the ocean, and sort of internally, we hear her internal monologue, saying that she won't give up until she finds Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah. Real
quick, I hate this new cat.
You hate Artemis?
I don't care for Artemis.
Oh, that's a shame.
I don't think I like him.
I like him.
He's such a dweebus.
He is a dweebus.
He's he's...
Artemis
has some fucking perspective.
Artemis has some good moments later, but
asshole.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, the next episode is episode 36. Usagi's confusion. Is Tuxedo Mask evil?
That wasn't that wasn't me. That wasn't me saying yes to the question. I just say when you say the titles.
It was directed by Kunihiko Ikuhara.
Okay.
And written by Tsukihiro Tomita. It first aired December 12th, 1992 in Japan, and October 24th, 1995 in English.
Ikuhara is Udna, right? Udna maker. Cool.
Yep, he's her. Udna is a self-insert.
You know what
I know.
I don't know if this pre-cap speech is particularly...
It's kind of not... Usagi's just like, hey, haircuts. Also, Tuxedo Mask.
She does say, and in the name of the moon, I'll punish you in this one.
Okay. Which has freed you from your...
Yes, it has freed me from my prison. So we open this episode on the Moon Kingdom on fire.
Yeah.
And we see Princess Serenity chasing Endymion as he runs toward the palace. And she calls his name and he turns and smiles at her but doesn't stop running. And she watches as he charges off into the flames. And she screams his name and cries, and this is a dream. This is a dream sequence. We see that Usagi is asleep. For the record, this scene has replaced the, recap episode.
We don't get any, hi, I'm Usagi Tsukina.
Yeah.
And I don't think we get that ever again.
Really?
I don't think we get anything like that again.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, but...
This is just kind of a cold open, then.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is before the title sequence.
Yeah.
Or, well...
It's before the title sequence.
Yes. It's before the title of the episode, it's after the theme song.
Right.
Usagi's asleep, and she's just talking about how she doesn't want to be the Moon Princess anymore. And how she wants to be a normal girl. And Luna, who is on her bed, tells her not to say that, and reminds her that she made a promise. And... Usagi's just still asleep. And Luna observes, it looks like her trauma was more serious than I thought. Now I'm getting really worried.
It looks like her trauma was more serious than I thought is a line.
I thought it was one of those unserious traumas. You know, that thing people have. And Usagi just, like, tosses in her sleep, and her arm pins Luna down. Luna yells for her to get off of her, because she's crushing her. But Usagi's still too asleep. And Usagi's just still saying in her sleep that she's worried about Tuxedo Mask. And Luna is very concerned.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the next day. Well, then we get the title sequence, but then we cut to the next day. The actual sort of first scene of the episode, I guess.
I guess.
The non-cold open first scene. Usagi is slumped over at her desk at school. And Naru's here! It's the first time in a little while we've seen Naru, I feel like. And the other girls. Also, there's the one with the name.
Yeah.
That I've forgotten. And then the other 2 with no name.
Was one of them Keiko?
Yes.
Keiko?
I think that's the one with the long black hair.
Okay.
Or the short black hair.
No, I think it's the long black hair because you were really mad that it wasn't.
Okay.
The one with the short black hair or the chubby one.
Right. There's the chubby one who only has a name in the Deke dub.
I'm sure they have names, I just don't know them.
Right. And also another one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But Naru's here. Naru and others. And they're excited.
Naru et al.
Naru et al. They're excited because they're holding. Naru's holding like a magazine, and like a specific page on the magazine has like an ad, and they tell Usagi that a new hair salon has just opened up, owned by Kariko Tokiyama, who is last month's World Hair Design Contest winner, which is
a monthly thing, I guess.
I guess.
We have a World Hair Design Contest every month.
Every month.
The whole world.
No more, no less.
The whole world gathers every month.
Maybe it's like bi-monthly, but that's still...
Yeah.
She's having a grand opening and giving anyone a free haircut. And Naru says that they all have to go. They're all really excited, and Usagi's just like, yeah, sure. And Naru says, what's the matter? You seem really depressed. And Usagi says, yeah, sure. Which, mood.
Yeah.
Also, clearly not getting good sleep.
No.
So, also probably just very tired.
Yeah.
And we cut to Hikawa Shrine. Luna is telling them how Usagi is talking in her sleep and having nightmares. And Mako asks if they know what happened to Tuxedo Mask yet. And Luna says they don't.
They don't.
And there's a weird, you were clearly confused about this in the notes, and now me thinking back to this, I am also confused. Like a montage of Usagi being very distracted at school.
Yeah. She, trips in the hallway and gets hit by a volleyball in gym class.
Which, in fairness, all seem pretty standard.
Those seem like standard Usagi things, but,
not very exemplary. Like, she's just... I mean, she's not screaming while they're happening, I guess. She's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
So I guess that's different. Luna says that Usagi's so worried that she can't think about anything else. Artemis says that Usagi needs to get serious. Like, fuck off.
He just matter. Listen.
This fucking clown has had to deal with one fucking guardian this entire time. Luna's had to deal with the other 4.
Yeah, And unbeknownst to her, the princess.
And, okay, so, this is the best scene in these 2 episodes, to me. Because Rei is not looking at the others right now.
She's staring at a pool or a pond or something.
And she says that she can't blame Usagi for being preoccupied about the man she loves. And Mako says it's weird to see Rei sympathizing with Usagi, and then remembers that Rei loves Mamoru also, and apologizes. And I just love Rei in this whole second episode is very good, and in that first episode.
Yeah. I mean, that first the feelings she's having now are a continuation of how she felt in the first episode.
Yes, but it's just expressed in a very different way.
Yeah.
Like, the first episode was very, like, her usual, like, hot-headed psychic self.
Yeah.
And this episode, she's a lot, like, the feelings are still the same feelings, but, like, she's openly more sympathetic with Usagi, and she's quieter and calmer, but, like, sadder.
Yeah.
And less angry. And it's really good characterization.
Yeah.
Artemis says that now isn't the time for Usagi to be flaky.
Okay, maybe Artemis does suck.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a piece of shit.
He might be dead.
Yeah.
He might be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. I hate this cat. Luna agrees, so I hate that cat too, still.
Wait, still? I thought you liked Luna.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay,
though.
you hate her again.
Yeah, for being an asshole. Minako says that there must be something they can do to help her. And that is that line, her line there, is the start of sort of more interesting characterization for Minako, I think, throughout this episode. We get a cut here to Usagi in her room, who is just listening to the music box, staring into a mirror, and she starts crying.
And she sees like Mamoru in the mirror.
Yes, in his bad green jacket.
And he's like, "Hey, crying doesn't suit you, bunhead."
And she just kind of cries some more.
She cries some more and is like, "You're just mean." And then wonders, is he mean or is my hair really weird? Could my hair be weird?
Poor girl.
Yeah.
And she glances over at the magazine ad for the hair salon from earlier.
And we see the portrait of Kariko.
Yes.
Who has, like, short blue hair and fucking fantastic sideburns.
Yes. And we hear a voice from behind Usagi. Because Minako is here. I guess her mom just let her in?
Yeah.
She says that she tried calling, but no one answered, so she just... Wait, yeah, hang on.
Okay. Here's the thing. There's a flub in the voice acting here.
Is there?
Because she says, "Sorry, I called, but no one answered, so I came over."
That's true.
I think what the line was supposed to be was, "Sorry, I called, but no one answered."
Yes.
And that's unfortunate.
I actually really like Minako's voice acting in
this
episode.
She's great. Shirami Lee is fantastic.
Like, hearing her, like, play a normal fucking person and not just the, like, very intense superhero Sailor V.
She was really good as Sailor V, though.
She is, but I guess I just don't find that performance as interesting as this. Although this would be less interesting if I didn't have that performance for context, you know? But yeah, she tried calling, but no one answered, so she just came over. Did she just let herself in?
Oh, yeah, also, cell phones don't exist. I mean, they do, but barely.
Barely. Like, home phone, she would have called her home phone.
And no one answered? Which means her mom is probably not home. Her dad is probably not home. Shingo could be home.
Shingo could be home, but
he's a kid.
He's a kid. He doesn't give a shit. So did she just let herself in?
I guess she just let herself in. Fucking crescent beam that lock.
That's very good, actually. I like that characterization we have for Sailor Venus now. I guess she overheard Usagi talking to herself about the hair thing, and also like sees the ad in the magazine, and offers to help Usagi try a new hairstyle. And they sit down, and Minako starts brushing Usagi's hair. As the romance music plays. The show's sort of designated romance music. So that's so that's fun. And she suggests a series of hairstyles.
Yeah, and we see Usagi, like, modeling various different hairstyles.
Yes. She's got... The bob cut is so...
The bob cut is so
good. It's like, we've seen her with that
Yeah.
before because of her transformation pen.
Yeah.
But yeah, Minako says that sometimes a new hairstyle can make you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And Usagi agrees and says she'll try it. Meanwhile...
I just want to say, though...
What's up?
There is a history of hairbrushing is lesbian activity. That's all. I just want to say that.
That's fair. Also,
especially in anime.
Especially in anime. I feel like we are almost... Even the fact that we're just saying it's the fucking romance music is almost underselling it.
Yeah.
Because there's also the fucking shoujo glow background. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Meanwhile, though, Dark Kingdom, Geiger Hell, Kunzite is staring at Mamoru in his healing tube. Just, I would say, angrily.
Perhaps frustrated?
Perhaps frustrated. I think I'm pretty sure...
I mean, Mamoru is, like, part of the reason Zoisite is dead.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Yeah. I mean, technically, there's a lot of reasons Zoisite is dead.
There's a lot of reasons Zoisite is dead.
It's not everybody's fault. It's a lot of people's fault, but it's mostly Beryl's fault.
Mostly Queen Beryl's fault, yeah. I'm not saying the eternal sleep would have been better, but why was that why wasn't that on the table?
Why wasn't that on the table? What is the difference?
I guess Endymion is too important. I don't
know. I mean, we do know Jadeite comes back in the manga or something.
In a PC Engine visual novel.
Oh, right.
They all come back in that.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. It's also basically not canon, so...
Okay. Yeah. Canon is dumb.
Yeah.
For the record, though, also, to be fair, we didn't mention, but, I mean, Queen Beryl's definitely a lesbian for Natalia, right?
I think they both want to fuck Endymion.
Okay.
But you know, that's a valid interpretation that I'm not going to...
I mean, they're both queens.
They are both queens. You're absolutely right. I don't know
I guess there's 4 kings in this place, but...
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember... I'm sorry. Not to, like... There's nothing to make light of about Zoisite's death or anything. But I do just, like... It's very explicit that, you know, Kunzite and Zoisite are together, especially in those scenes. Mm-hmm. Remember when Nephrite was, like, this human thing called love?
Yeah.
Remember when he was a fucking Vulcan about everything for some reason?
And, like,
Just nobody taught him about love.
No one taught him.
They knew the whole time. They were just, we haven't explained love to him, as a joke.
Yeah,
Anyway. Beryl's here, also.
Yeah.
She appears, you know, Silver Crystal. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know,
we gotta get it.
Fucking hate her. Who gives a shit what she has to say?
She, like, stretches her nails?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, fucking, the nail thing. I'm a fucking predictable asshole, so that, just this nail stretching kinda got her slightly back in my good graces more.
That's fair.
She asks Kunzite if he's discovered Sailor Moon's identity yet, and he's like, nope.
No.
But, more time.
I need more time.
An extension.
I've got a plan. I got a plan.
I got a plan.
Here's some hair. Here's Sailor Moon's hair.
Here's Sailor Moon's hair.
Which I took from her in battle.
In battle, where
all I use is energy blast.
Yes, from like 20 feet away. And where all she used was light from everywhere.
Also, again, just want to point out, Queen Beryl saw recordings of Nephrite. But doesn't know who Sailor Moon is. I don't want to fucking CinemaSins this.
No.
But that's such a weird thing.
Yeah, it's, listen, we can't, like, not every, here's the thing. If we were like, this makes this show bad, then we'd be a fucking CinemaSins. We're like, hey, this is funny for our fun goof podcast. Yeah, where we talk about anime. Mm-hmm. And I will talk about it all the time because it's fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Kunzite has some of Sailor Moon's hair.
Yeah,
and
he sure does.
He's gonna fucking do it. She's gonna fucking send it to Ancestry.com and figure out who she is.
Oh.
It's not Ancestry.com anymore, is it? It's 23andMe? Or is that a different
service? That's a different, similar service. Ancestry.com is still a thing.
PSA, don't use those.
Why not?
They're fucking scams.
Are they?
To fucking compile genetic information.
Wait, why would you need that?
Eugenics. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to explain it. You can look it up.
I feel like that's a heavy thing to drop on our Sailor Moon podcast.
We can delete it.
Anyway, he has a hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so Beryl tells him Ancestry.com hasn't been invented yet. No. So he plans to find the girl with matching hair.
Yeah.
Somehow. I mean, we know how. We saw the episode. We know his plan. But Beryl...
Here's the thing.
What's up?
DNA testing still existed. It's not
That's fair.
It's not like some fucking fantasy shit that he can do this.
That's fair. Beryl tells him to proceed with caution. And her
fucking crystal orb just spores.
Yeah.
It just shoots some gas into the air. And it's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. It just does that sometimes. I mean, it's a like top model staff.
Yeah, I guess.
Magic.
I guess.
They gotta have spores in them. You don't have the spores app?
I don't, staff. You're right. I should have gotten it.
Are you using an iStaff? You gotta get Android.
No, I'm using a fucking Microsoft staff.
Worse.
Yeah, you're right. It was cheaper.
That's that's fair. That's fair. How many gold pieces was it?
What?
How many gold pieces was it?
I don't get this joke.
Like D&D.
Oh, okay.
Fake geek ass.
You're fucking mixing metaphors here. You're mixing jokes.
It's a staff.
Okay.
D&D has staves. Staves? Staves?
No, it's definitely not staves. Anyway.
Usagi and Minako arrive at the hair salon.
Mm-hmm.
They are greeted by a lady with short hair and amazing sideburns.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Kariko.
It's Kariko. And Minako asks her to take a look at Usagi's hair and find the best style for her.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little... I don't know. Listen, I know she's the world's best hairstyler for this month. Last month. She's not even up to date anymore. But that's a lot of faith.
Yeah.
To put in.
Listen, hairstylists know what they're doing.
My hair.
Okay, here's the thing. Hairstylists know what they're doing unless you're black and they're white.
Valid. But these people
are Japanese hairstylists.
These are a Japanese hairstylist and a Japanese young girl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kariko agrees and leads Usagi to the shampoo station.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, this episode's very funny.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about things that happen in this episode.
Okay. I thought you were laughing at the concept of a shampoo station, and then I was about to be like, yeah, that tracks.
Hey!
No. Sorry. I'm not saying you're dirty. I'm saying your hair isn't long enough that any hairstylist would ever take you to a shampoo station.
You're just calling me a boy is what you're fucking doing again.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know you weren't calling me dirty. You were saying, oh, this chuckle fuck doesn't know what the fuck goes on in a hair salon.
Uh-huh.
That's what you were fucking saying. Piece of shit.
I'm sorry. Are you offended?
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
I'm filled with fuckor. Anyway, remember that episode we talked about fuckor?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But yeah, she undoes. Hey. She undoes Usagi's hair.
Yeah.
Minako also does that earlier when she's brushing her hair.
Mm-hmm.
What's in there? Rubber bands? Scrunchies?
I'm completely unsure. This is a
What's
hairstyle.
holding it like that?
This is a hairstyle you can do.
Really?
I mean, maybe not the tails, but you can do
the buns.
The buns. They're called odongo, I think.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how you do them. I also kind of don't know how you do a normal hair bun. So...
That's fair. Fucking judging me about the fucking shampoo station when you don't know how to do a fucking hair bun.
Listen.
No.
Okay.
And we hear sort of Minako's internal monologue as she thinks to herself, or hopes to herself that this will cheer Usagi up.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that real quick.
Okay.
I say real quick, I don't know how long this is going to be, but... So, Minako's characterization in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I find it really interesting that, like, she is trying hard to cheer Usagi up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like, she's understanding what Usagi is going through and trying to, like, help her genuinely. But is also kind of doing it for ulterior motives.
Yeah.
Of, like, we have to get the team functional, and we can't do that without the princess being on our side. So that's just really interesting to me. It's interesting to me that, it feels like so far, Sailor Venus is the first Sailor Guardian who has actually prioritized the mission above everything else.
Well, because she's been doing this so much longer than everyone else.
Yes. Which is just interesting to me.
Yeah. I think it's worth noting, because they don't ever explain this in the show. She fought the Dark Kingdom in her book.
Okay, in the manga.
Yeah, in the Sailor V manga.
Okay. Same Dark Kingdom?
She did not fight Queen Beryl.
Okay, but she did fight the four Heavenly Kings? No.
I think it was just monsters created by the Dark Kingdom.
Okay.
But yeah. I think they had a fucking front. They were the Dark Agency or something.
Cool.
It's weird.
Anyway. I love Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
As Kariko is washing Usagi's hair, one of the other hairstylists puts another girl's hair in the like one of the dryer thingies. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene. It like zooms. We get like a zoom in.
We get some like fucking cyberpunk Matrix view.
This is not how anything the Dark Kingdom has ever made has looked before, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, this is Kunzite's first monster we're seeing.
That's true. So this, maybe Kunzite's deal is high tech.
Maybe. He's also a sorcerer. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. He's many things. He contains multitudes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it like Kariko looks at it, and we get her fucking Terminator vision of just the machine analyzing the hair on this girl's head. Mm-hmm. And it zooms in on her hair, and we see like a display for like the DNA strands and everything. And it's no match.
No match.
Not a match.
Yeah, big red X. Or blue X? It might be a blue X.
Mm-hmm. And Kariko thinks to herself, well shit. Well, that one's not Sailor Moon. Still haven't found Sailor Moon yet. And this is our reveal that Kariko is a monster. And then a woman approaches Minako, who is still sitting in the waiting area.
Yeah, she's sitting and like reading a magazine. You know what you do. And
she tells Minako, "Do you want to save?"
She says, "Hey, you want to try our new hair steamer?" This woman is from New York.
This woman is.
They got Molly.
They got Molly from the Dig Dub. But yeah, Minako tries to explain that she's just here for friend support. Mm-hmm. But this New Yorker lady insists.
She gives like some techno battle explanation of what the hair steamer does.
Yeah, I forget what the fuck she says. It revives
follicles or something.
Yeah, it repairs split ends. No, it doesn't.
It probably does. Hair steamers are pretty good.
That's not a fucking thing. I don't think that's a fucking thing.
Oh my god.
I don't think how do you repair split ends with steam? Like, what?
I'm not gonna say anything.
No, say.
No, I'm good.
Say anything.
No.
How? Science it at me.
I don't know how, I just know that it does.
Okay. What's the deal with split ends anyway? Who gives a shit?
God, you keep doing it.
Who gives a shit about split ends? Who cares?
Oh my god.
You got 2 hairs where there was 1 before.
They look bad.
You can't tell.
If there are enough of them, you can.
You can't.
Welcome to our hair talk cast.
Listen, I've never seen someone's hair enough to
Yeah, no,
see.
You've never seen it. I get it.
Have you? Can you tell?
I can
if
tell.
someone has
I don't
split ends?
care, but I can tell.
Okay. You're lying.
Great. I don't like the energy you're bringing.
Minako thinks to herself that it sounds pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and it is free.
It is free.
It is free. They said free haircut, but I guess it's just free anything.
Free anything. The hair steamer seems to be part of the haircut.
That's true. I guess that's fair.
They put you in it after you're done, I think.
Yeah, which would be, but you would get rid of all the split ends by cutting them off.
No, that's not how that works. Sometimes you cut hair and it creates split ends.
I guess that makes sense. She sits down at a hair steamer,
Mm-hmm.
and we get the scanning animation again. We get the same scanning animation.
Yeah,
again,
with the same girl.
with the same girl who is not Sailor V,
But is, I guess.
I guess is also has brown hair still in the animation.
It's not. We don't see the color.
I guess we don't see it. It's got like a green filter.
Yeah.
But it's
Because computers.
because yeah, computers have green filters, don't you know? But this time it's a big red circle,
It's
not
a
a big red
match.
X. It's a match, and Kariko thinks to herself as she's still shampooing Usagi's hair, thinks to herself, "At last, I found Sailor Moon."
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a commercial.
She found
break.
Sailor Moon. There she is.
There she is.
Minako. Sailor Moon.
Minako forgot her last name.
I know.
I know.
Great.
Commercial break.
Commercial break.
Life insurance.
And when we get back,
Yes. Kariko has just left Usagi
yeah,
at the shampoo station and has approached Minako and says that she knows who she is and pulls her out of the hair steamer.
mm-hmm.
And Minako screams for her to stop, and Usagi sort of jolts out of the washing tub.
Mm-hmm. Basin, maybe?
Basin? The shampoo station.
The shampoo station.
The shampoo station basin.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other stylists, with just blank expressions on their faces,
Mm-hmm.
start just spraying purple mist from their hairspray cans.
Uh-huh.
And all the other women in the store fall asleep.
Yep.
If there's one fucking thing the Dark Kingdom is good at,
Mm-hmm.
consistently, it's just making people fall asleep.
Yeah.
And Minako starts to fall asleep as well, but Kariko is now brandishing scissors at
Mhm.
her, and that sort of shakes her awake. And she demands for Minako to hand over the silver crystal. And Minako asks what the fuck she's talking about.
Huh?
And Kariko tells her not to play dumb, which I guess technically she is, but also she is genuinely confused.
Yeah.
But her computer says Minako's hair is an exact match for Sailor Moon's.
Mm-hmm. I want to say,
what's up?
there is an explanation for this later.
Yes.
At first, I was like, is it just because they're blonde? Is it just because they're both blonde? That's weird.
Yeah, the steamer agrees with me that they just have the same hair.
Minako's hair is a darker blonde.
It's not. You
it actually
made that
might be
up.
a lighter blonde.
They're the same color.
They're not the same color.
You can't see color though, so
Maybe you can't. Maybe this is proof.
maybe you don't know what color Mr. Game & Watch is.
Okay, we can't bring this into the podcast.
So Minako does sort of wonder about this and comes to the explanation, which is that she remembers that when, she flashes back to when she was brushing Usagi's hair,
Mm-hmm.
and figures that some of her hair must have gotten into her hair.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird, because she was using Usagi's brush, and also it's not like we see her brush her own hair.
No. Also, Minako is behind Usagi, and her hair is, like, behind her.
Yeah. So
So what's the thing about this?
So the thing is, she couldn't have gotten Usagi's hair into, like, the top of her hair from brushing Usagi's hair.
There's no way.
But there is an Usagi hair in her hair.
Yeah, I guess.
Which does mean that at some point, Usagi was above, or one might say on top of.
Okay, no, hold on. They're 14. We can't do this.
I'm not. No, it happens. They're both 14, though.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying. It also might not have.
Okay.
It doesn't have to have been sexual.
Okay.
I'm just saying they probably made out or something.
They probably made out. That's all.
I'm just saying. They had the shoujo glow background.
Yeah, They were playing Twister.
That is sex for 14-year-olds, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
That's what that is. We can't have Twister is sex for 14-year-olds as the title.
No, we absolutely cannot.
Right? We cannot have that. But yeah, she has Usagi's hair in her hair. Meanwhile, Usagi is out of the tub, out of the hair wash station thingy, and sneaking around behind like a half wall at the other side of the salon, and is watching this transpire. And Kariko demands Minako give her the silver crystal, and says that we have ways of making you talk. She doesn't say it like that. That's a me joke. I don't know what that's a reference to.
I'm not sure either.
But it's just a joke people say.
James Bond?
Probably.
Could be James Bond.
Could be James Bond. I'm sure one of our know-it-all friends is going to tell us.
Probably.
After we release this episode. Kariko backs away into the other stylists. Into the crowd of the other stylists. Yeah. And they form a circle around her.
They form a circle around her and start sort of spinning.
Yes. Like, not walking, just like spinning in place.
Sorry.
Not...
Spinning in unison.
In unison around her.
Around her.
And they keep spinning faster and faster. And now they're all wearing, like, red and blue uniforms. And as they spin faster and faster, they form, like, a vortex that is a spinning, striped red, white, and blue vortex that looks like a barber pole.
Yeah,
And when they finish that very good transformation sequence, they have transformed altogether. They have conglomerized into a single monster, whose name I don't remember.
We don't learn her name yet.
We don't learn her name yet, but
we'll get to it.
It's a monster. She's big.
I don't like her.
She's uncomfortable to look at with the eyes. She's got weird braids in her hair.
I hate her braids.
That just stick straight out.
In like a cross shape.
She's like covered in blades, but she still uses a tiny ass little pair of scissors.
Which is funny.
Yes. She looks like she's made of flesh.
Yeah.
And she looks like she's made of muscle and has no skin.
Right.
Basically.
She kind of looks like a Dragon Ball Z villain to me.
Yes, I agree.
Anyway.
Usagi figures out that the Dark Kingdom turned Kariko into a monster. To get to her, specifically. And then she resolves to save Minako and transforms. And we get our first transformation sequence, it feels like, since the episode before last?
Yeah, probably.
She didn't transform in the last episode.
No.
Maybe even before that? No, I think in the episode before last because it was a major plot point that she transforms. Yeah. But yeah, it was nice to see a transformation sequence after all the shit I've been through in that last episode. So the monster Kariko is advancing menacingly on Minako with a pair of scissors.
The pair of scissors.
But is stopped when Usagi announces her presence.
Uh-huh.
And she says, "Hold it right there! That girl isn't Sailor Moon." This is kind of a deja vu.
Uh-huh.
You offer free haircuts to girls who have little money, but you don't care about their feelings after you mess with their hearts. I, Sailor Moon, will not forgive such devious monsters.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
In the name of the moon, I'll punish you. There's a big pause there.
Yeah. Because they had to sync it to her, like, fucking posing animation.
Yeah. And then Monster Kariko says, "Ha! So you walked in here on your own, just like a slug, jumping into salt." Which is nothing.
That's nothing.
None of what you just said is anything.
It has nothing to do with anything that's happening.
First of all,
it's not a hair pun, it's not...
Slugs don't jump. Can't do it. They got one big foot.
They could fall.
They could fall.
That could be described as jumping, perhaps.
It couldn't. I don't even know if they can fall. Like, they would have to go through some... They're very sticky.
That's fair.
They'd have to go through some extenuating circumstances in order to fall off of something.
Yeah.
Also, no.
No.
Just none of. Into salt?
It cuts to Usagi, who, like, there's a fucking photorealistic picture of a slug behind her, as she says, "Slugs dissolve in salt."
Yeah.
That's the joke. That's the thing, Usagi.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
You got it.
Because you walked in here because you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
Just like a slug walking into salt will die.
I think she says they melt in salt.
Sure.
And she is almost melted, admittedly, later.
I guess.
But the monster now introduces herself as Mitsuami.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if that means anything?
I should have looked it up. I don't know.
Do you want me to?
Sure.
It's the segment of the show where Zach Googles a thing. Oh, nope, I found it. It is apparently a Japanese word that means braids or plaits.
Okay.
So
plait is in, like, plaited hair.
Yes. Plait. So she's the hair.
Yeah.
She's just braid. She's braids. She's Braid. The video game.
Yeah. Soulja Boy loves her.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Soulja Boy loves Braid.
Why do you know that?
Because it's a meme.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yes.
Okay.
He talks about that time travel potion.
I don't think...
No, you gotta drink that time travel potion.
I've not played Braid.
There's no time travel potion, I'm pretty sure.
I don't... You just time travel just by moving backwards.
Yeah,
Okay, anyway. Mitsuami. Braid monster. She turns her hand into a hairdryer gun.
Yeah, her hand, like, retracts into her wrist, and then she fucking locks and loads a hairdryer onto it.
She's kind of cool.
Except
not. She's kind of cool and gross and funny and stupid. She's kind of all of them.
Yeah.
Mitsuami contains multitudes. Minako passes out here, and I'm not... Do you remember why?
Because of the gas. The purple gas.
Oh, is it still the purple? Okay, why isn't Usagi passing out?
Unsure.
Okay.
Maybe because she was behind the wall?
She's stress-eaten so much that every spongy, like, cake thing she's eaten is absorbing all of the gas and protecting her lungs. Physics. Mitsuami tries to blast Usagi with a heat ray. Heat ray? She does fire.
That's not it, but
Ray
you know
does
what?
fire.
Fair
Heat ray. What's not it? What do you mean?
Nothing.
What? No, what?
I'm just disappointed in you.
You okay?
Can we continue, please?
Are you talking quietly so I'll excise this bit from the podcast?
No, I think it's very funny, though.
Okay. Usagi dodges out of the way. some plants get melted instead, and Usagi is very scared at them getting burnt to cinders. And she then leaps at Usagi, who again dodges out of the way. And then she has a minigun.
A fucking minigun.
That fires
scissors.
Sets of scissors. Just pairs of scissors. And Usagi dodges those.
It's funny though because she no.
Yeah, it is very funny. She falls and grabs like a powder compact that's like dropped off a one of those cart things. And she throws it at Mitsuami
and blinds her.
Yes, Usagi does a lot of like using her environment. I feel like to fight. And then she brandishes the moonstick, and she starts to use moon healing escalation. But her hand is struck.
And she drops the moonstick.
She drops the moonstick.
She kind of scrambles to pick it up and spots a rose embedded in the floor.
Yep.
And she thinks, it can't be. And she slowly turns, and we see Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah.
Sitting in a salon chair.
Facing the other direction.
And he, like, turns dramatically.
Yes. I want to point out, there are two possibilities about the aspects of this scene that Usagi, and therefore the audience, does not actually see. Either Tuxedo Mask was sitting in the chair and just nonchalantly threw the rose behind him. Or he was in the chair facing Usagi, threw the rose, and then spun around so he could make the dramatic spin back around. Just a fucking real Emperor Palpatine ass. But yeah, Tuxedo Mask, here. We found him. That was quick.
Yeah.
We sure solved that plot pretty quick, right? They were like, oh, I gotta find Mamoru. Like, we found him.
Yeah.
Fucking, he's done.
We sure did find
him. Season end. So their eyes meet, and the rose wilts. And Usagi starts crying in happiness at seeing Tuxedo Mask. But he says, "You are mistaken. I am not Tuxedo Mask. I am the commander of the Dark Kingdom. I am Endymion."
And he stands up.
And Usagi's not...
She's not into that.
Not into that. And he brandishes his cane. I'm pretty sure at this point he does, like... He taps
it against his
hand, and then it fucking extends to, like, sword length. And Usagi starts crying. And asks what they did to him. Meanwhile, Mitsuami's still here. In case you were worried about this being like a sort of a serious moment in the plot, we still got Scissor Monster. Don't you even worry about it. We got Braid Girl.
She's revving something up.
Yeah, a big hair trimmer.
A
giant, bigger than her hair trimmer.
Yep.
And Endymion orders Mitsuami to retrieve the silver crystal. And Mitsuami yells, "I'm going to give you such a good trim, you'll never have to come back for more." And Usagi yells, "No thanks!"
And leaves the building.
And Mitsuami follows, just crashing through the fucking front door. So that was a pretty hard tonal shift throughout that scene. But Minako wakes up as she sees Endymion leaving. And says that she needs to tell the other Guardians that Tuxedo Mask is now an enemy.
Yeah, remember that. Keep that in mind.
Stow that away. Stow that one away. She pulls out her transformation pen and transforms.
Yeah, and we see the Sailor Venus transformation.
Yeah, this is our first time. Yeah, because she transformed off screen the last couple episodes. It's cool.
It's pretty cool.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Usagi, ribbons. Like, she's got pink ribbons. She doesn't have, like, a strong theme exactly.
Right.
Whereas, like, Mercury is water.
Yeah.
Ray is fire, or Mars is fire. Jupiter is lightning. And Venus seems to be light.
Yeah.
Like, her element seems to be light, because her main attack is the crescent beam, which is like a fucking laser beam. And the like ribbons that form to build her costume are covered in like stars.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything funny to say about that. That's just
you know, interesting.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. It's a cool transformation sequence.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mitsuami has apparently chased Usagi throughout all of Tokyo. And we see her, like, charge at Usagi again and demolish a fucking electrical pole. And Usagi chastises her for being so reckless.
And then Endymion chastises her for wasting time.
So Mitsuami just can't catch a break. And Usagi is dismayed at him being evil again. Mitsuami charges again and knocks Usagi aside. And she's about to finish her off when the other Guardians appear.
Yeah.
And Rei and Mako...
immediately...
Yes.
Just fucking both use their attacks.
Yes.
And combine them.
Yes. They have a just Supreme Thunder Fire Soul that is very cool. And also kind of terrifying, because we know those are two of the strongest attacks.
Yeah, And they fucking obliterate Mitsuami's...
Yes.
Fucking lawnmower clipper.
You know what's interesting to me now that I think about it?
What?
So, Ami's attack, it's a support attack.
Yeah.
It's a support spell. She obscures the battlefield. Usagi either has Moon Tiara action or Moon Healing Escalation, which are both, like, finishing moves.
Yeah.
Like, one being an attack and one being a heal, essentially. Yeah. Rei and Mako and Minako all have, like, very offensive attacks. I guess that's what most attacks are, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which is just interesting to me. They all have, like, just deal some heavy fucking damage to whatever.
Yeah, Ami's kind of the oddball.
Yeah. And, like, it feels like Supreme Thunder and Fire Soul feel especially similar, because they're both, like, very explosive, and...
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Crescent Beam is a fucking sniper shot.
But they knock Mitsuami aside.
Yes.
And then Ami uses bubble spray to very little helpful effect, I'd say. She uses it to distract the monster so that Sailor Moon can finish it off.
Yes.
But she doesn't seem to need to in this case.
No. Remember that time Bubble Spray just froze some bombs also?
Yeah.
That's not in this episode. I'm just thinking about things.
And then Venus tells Usagi to finish Mitsuami off. And
Venus not helping, really, at all.
She doesn't need to. And then...
she has a laser beam.
Yeah. And then Usagi uses Moon Healing Escalation. It's a different, also, song from the previous
Yes,
song.
And it's a different animation, because the Silver Crystal is now in the Moonstick. And we also, I think we see the little... beep, 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 the little lights.
Yeah.
In the tune it does. And
so Mitsuami is healed.
Well, we can't just breeze by it.
No, we're not. I'm just setting it up.
Because she says, shampoo, rinse, refresh. And then all the other salon workers also yell, refresh. And
they all sort of split and fall down to the ground.
So this is our first monster that has possessed multiple people at once, I think. Shampoo, rinse, refresh.
Yep.
I hate it. I sure do hate it. But Endymion's still here. Don't you forget. He growls in frustration. And Rei approaches him and says she's glad he's safe. But Minako stops her and tells her that he's not the Tuxedo Mask she knew.
Yeah. So remember when Minako said she was going to tell the other Guardians?
Yeah.
Did she not?
She did.
Or is Rei just so, like, consumed?
Maybe.
By her worry about Mamoru?
Maybe. Rei does go into Rei does go into denial here.
Uh-huh.
And demands that Tuxedo Mask tell her it's not true. And he says some shit.
God, it's so much what he says.
Lot. Let me just,
Can I see it? Can I read it? I want to read it.
Sure. Go ahead.
He says, "Roses have many thorns, and you should know that even red roses turn black when they wilt." And then Ami asks if he really plans to fight them.
Uh-huh.
And he says, "Hurting young women has never been my style, but to get the crystal I'm prepared to do what's needed." And he steps forward, but is interrupted by Queen Beryl sort of contacting him psychically. And telling him to retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And she says it's a direct order from Queen Metalia.
She, like, I just can't... We'll talk about what he says. Do you want to talk about what he says first, actually?
I don't know what you're about to say.
Okay. But do you want to talk about what he says?
You mean the next thing he says?
No, what he says, just what he just said.
Well, let's get the whole context.
Okay.
And then, as he's leaving, he says, "Sailor Guardians, your death at my hands has been postponed. A woman's friendship is quite fragile. Even a slight breeze can make it fall apart, like a flower in the wind. Be careful of that. Farewell." And he turns and disappears into a cloud of darkness.
Yeah. So, what was most of that?
So it's the shit Tuxedo Mask did, but it's evil now.
Yeah, you're right. But what the fuck does any of what he said at the end there mean?
I don't know.
What? That's a complete non sequitur.
Why is he talking about friendship being fragile? What?
That means that, no.
As far as I'm aware, I could be wrong. That's not like foreshadowing anything.
Okay.
It could be.
The other thing I want to talk about. So, I hate Beryl for multiple reasons. Obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. You know, keeps killing Heavenly Kings. Mm-hmm. For Jadeite, it was fine.
Yeah, who gives a shit about Jadeite? Who?
Yeah, Jadeite, I think.
Okay.
But extremely bad. Just actually the least competent member of the Dark Kingdom. Because every single time, single fucking time any of these chuckle fucks is about to kill the Sailor Guardians, she's like, "No, wait, don't. Hang on. Come back. Hang on. I need you over here."
Okay, to be fair, in both cases for Zoisite and Kunzite, one of them was extremely injured. So they might not have won that fight. And in all cases, they were outnumbered by a lot.
In all cases, they were outnumbered, but fucking Kunzite nearly killed them all.
Yeah.
Solo.
Uh-huh. He was fueled by rage at that point.
That's fair. He was also fueled by whatever the fuck was going on in that dark dimension in the tower.
Uh-huh.
He was absorbing all their attacks.
Yeah.
There are multiple points where the Dark Kingdom has the sailors on the ropes, and Beryl is just like, "No, don't.
Yeah.
Don't, hang on.
Also,
we gotta wait to do the fucking thing."
To be fair to her in this case, it is Queen Metalia's order.
Sure. She should fucking... You know what Queen Metalia is? Literally goop right now. Fuck her. Go above her head. Uh-huh. You have a physical form right now. Mm-hmm. You can... God. Beryl, you don't deserve a toy made of you in a claw machine. Anyway, their death at his hands has been stupidly postponed by two stupid idiot people. We cut to the Dark Kingdom. So Tuxedo Mask
has changed
his outfit.
He's wearing the uniform he wore in the flashbacks to the Moon Kingdom.
Yes, the Endymion outfit.
Okay. Why doesn't he just wear that?
Why doesn't he just wear that?
Why was he dressed as Tuxedo Mask?
Like,
maybe he can only use the roses if he's Tuxedo Mask?
We know that's not true.
Yeah.
Because he pulls a rose out of his stupid green jacket.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I really wish the Endymion costume had purple pants.
It would be great.
How great would that be? We see Endymion kneeling before Queen Metalia, or her flesh coffin. Mm. And he asks why she called him back. and she says that she can't let him die.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just kind of a misreading of the whole situation, I feel like. Not to say that Tuxedo Mask wouldn't be overpowered by all 5 Sailor Guardians, but they wouldn't kill him.
Probably not.
Two of them are in love with him, like, they're not gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Queen Beryl and Kunzite explain to us, the audience, that they brainwashed him.
Mm-hmm.
And Beryl says that they must think of ways to make use of his loyalty, and laughs evilly. And then that scene ends. And back in the real world, this I would say we're moving into the denouement.
The girls are just kind of standing outside the salon. We see Kariko working.
Yes.
And she seems fine.
The Sailor Guardians reflect on their handiwork.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they repaired that door so quick, but I guess I don't know exactly how long this takes place away from everything that just happened. But Usagi sort of like walks apart from the others for a second, and like looks up at the moon in the evening sky, and she has a speech where she says, "Miss Kariko was turned into a monster because of me. If we don't stop the Dark Kingdom, more innocent people like her will suffer. I won't let that happen." And Artemis is pleased that Usagi is accepting her responsibilities. And Usagi turns around and cheers that Tuxedo Mask is safe. And everyone pratfalls. And Luna says, "I don't know, Artemis. She seems pretty much the same to me." And Artemis says, "Well, I think she's putting on a brave front by making light of everything." Which is... No. What are you talking about? They're all so dumb. I'm just... At the very least, she's showing that she's grown up and is moving on, Artemis says.
And then Mako turns to Rei and like puts a hand on her shoulder and is like, "You should too." Yeah. And Rei's like, "Okay, yeah." And...
Yeah, Rei has this nice moment where she looks over at Usagi. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And Usagi sort of goes on a tangent, saying, "I'm sure Tuxedo Mask was tricked by the bad guys into believing he was one of them, and they've got him in their clutches. And now it's up to me to turn him back to normal with my overwhelming power of love." Which I'm pretty sure that is the plot.
I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen.
And then the episode ends.
Yeah.
And next time,
time,
Usagi has signed up for a princess training program. So...
Yeah.
Okay.
And it seems like everyone else has as well.
Also, everyone else has, I guess, in solidarity. Probably.
And Luna's like, "Oh, okay." As she always is.
Yeah. Next episode, Let's Become a Princess. Usagi's bizarre training. Let's become a princess.
Yeah.
No.
Let's become a princess.
No.
Usagi's bizarre training.
No. You can't. Multiple people can't become a princess.
They could.
No. They could each become princesses. Okay. But that's the end of the episode.
That's the end of the episode.
I guess the end of the arc as well. Or where would you say the arc ends here?
I don't know.
Okay.
This was a 3-parter.
Right. This was a 3-parter, and then the barbershop.
And then the barbershop. I think the barbershop is the beginning of this arc.
Okay.
So the ending was when they left the Starlight Tower.
Right. Okay.
So let's start. You had some thoughts about the first episode.
Yes. My main thought is that you lied to me. Is that you're a liar.
What did I lie about?
You did lie and say we get an explanation for all the weird shit going on with Sailor V.
We get an explanation for a lot of the weird shit.
We get an explanation for some of the weird shit that opens up a bunch more questions.
Okay, listen, that's how mysteries work.
Why? I just want to know why she has a movie. Why she got video games.
That's never explained.
You're kidding me. That was my major fucking problem.
It's because she's famous.
That's not a thing! That's not, you don't just, oh, we know Mike Tyson, so we're gonna make we know Mike Tyson exists, so we're gonna make Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. No! He had to sign a fucking thing with Nintendo.
She's a superhero.
So she just signs her fucking, why was Tuxedo Mask in her movie?
That's just because they reused a poster for Sailor Moon.
How long has she been fighting the Dark Kingdom this entire time? Are the bank robbers that she also fights just the Dark Kingdom?
Yes.
Or does she...
Yes. The answer to that question
explicitly?
Is yes. Pretty sure yes.
Canonically? Okay. Well, I want the show to tell me that, not you.
I read the manga. I
No!
read the Sailor V manga.
I can't even read books without pictures anymore.
Mood.
I guess the pictures would make it easier, actually. But whatever. I don't know shit! I still don't know shit! It was a good episode! I still don't know shit! Listen, you just lied to me!
Silver Millennium. There was a moon...
Okay,
the Moon King. Princess Serenity. Was in love with Prince Endymion, who is the Prince of Earth.
Yes.
She and the Moon Queen were protected by the Sailor Guardians.
Yes.
The Moon Kingdom, the Silver Millennium, was attacked by the Dark Kingdom, who took over Earth.
Why does Luna not have her memories?
Because they were all reincarnated.
Is she a real cat?
I think so.
Is she a cat who was somehow born with vocal... Because I thought she was a fucking alien.
She's a magic cat.
But she's... How did they know? Who told them?
Who told who what?
Who told Luna and Artemis all this shit?
Memories.
They don't have them!
They had some of their memories.
Why do they have some of them, but the others don't?
They were... Because the queen wanted them to live a peaceful life. But they didn't give a shit. She didn't give a shit about Luna and Artemis. Those are just cats.
Why is she Sailor Moon? Why is she Sailor Moon? Who is Sailor Moon? There wasn't a Sailor Moon.
No.
There was never a Sailor Moon until now. Why does Tuxedo Mask know who Sailor Moon is in the first episode? Why does Luna know what a Sailor Moon is?
You know?
What? Just what?
We gotta fight.
Okay.
Trust the process.
I'm not mad at the show.
Okay.
I'm mad at you for lying to me.
Memory is a fickle beast.
You had watched that episode, hadn't you?
I've watched it before, but I hadn't watched it when I said that to you.
Also, just in general, I'm pounding my chair a lot, and I'm hoping it's not going to show up on the audio too much.
It probably is, and you're a fucker.
I feel I suspect now that you have led me astray this entire time, and that this is just an Utna, and I'm not supposed to care about all this bullshit, and that you've led me astray in thinking that there's explanations for everything.
There are explanations for everything. They might come slower than you'd want.
Why is she on the NES?
Okay, there's no explanation for that. Besides the fact that she's famous.
Why was Artemis in a fucking arcade machine?
You don't know that was him.
It's Johnny Young Bosch!
Yeah, sometimes the same voice actor voices multiple characters. Uh-huh.
I'm just a glass case of emotion.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Because of you trying to intentionally open me up to the emotions of these episodes, which I did and was heartbroken by.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But also that you have betrayed me.
Listen.
No.
It's a fairy tale.
Sure. Okay, just tell me that, you know? Next time. Just tell me that in the first episode.
Okay.
Don't, there's alien mystery and, ooh.
I mean, there is still that, but it's a fairy tale mystery.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Luna get 4? Why did Luna get 4 of them? Why couldn't they introduce her?
I can explain that.
Okay.
It's because Venus awakened first. And...
Why didn't Venus...
Uh-huh.
Why didn't she... Luna knew.
Yeah.
Luna knew about Sailor V.
Mm-hmm.
Being Sailor Venus.
Yes.
Why didn't she just tell Usagi... What was the point of keeping them separate for so long?
Unclear. Sailor Venus had her own stuff going on, I guess. Sailor Venus was still doing shit.
So were the other Guardians. They could have helped each other.
I think Sailor Venus was somewhere else.
She was in Japan.
I'm not sure if she was. I don't remember.
I mean, she was at the start of the season.
Yeah, I guess.
Why does Sailor Venus have 2 secret identities? What was the point? Why is she Sailor Venus? Other than the non-diegetic point of like, well, it's a reveal that she's Sailor Venus, right. That she is one of the planet named Sailor Guardians.
Yeah.
Other than the out of universe reason, why was she going by Sailor V?
I think in the manga, it was also a reveal that she was Sailor Venus.
Okay.
The manga's weird.
Why was it in the manga?
I don't think this is a spoiler because it's not in the anime, and the Sailor V manga is weird. I think she is Venus. Like the god. In the manga. Or a descendant? She's a descendant of Venus.
Okay.
I don't think this ever comes up in the anime.
Okay. She's a fucking demigod.
Mm-hmm.
Just her?
I think just her.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna assume that's not true in this continuity.
I don't think it is.
Because I can't deal with that. I can already not deal with so much. I can't deal with that.
Uh-huh.
I can't deal with the Greco-Roman gods being real.
Mm-hmm.
And also the ancestors of the main character. I'm tired. I'm just emotionally exhausted.
Uh-huh.
These were good episodes.
Yeah. Did you react this way to any of the reveals in Steven Universe?
I'm trying to think. Okay, here's the thing. No, because, again, the show is not the catalyst for this. It is you.
Okay.
It is you telling me, oh, don't worry, literally everything gets explained.
Okay, I never said literally everything.
You said a lot of shit got explained.
And it did.
It didn't.
It did.
It did not.
They're reincarnated. Prince Endymion is the Prince of Earth, and Mamoru is him.
We fucking knew they were reincarnated. We could have figured that out.
You were acting like you didn't know.
I wasn't certain, I guess. We get official confirmation that they're reincarnated.
Yeah.
Like, the reincarnate, like, that was always the most likely thing for me. Mm-hmm. It was the only thing that really made sense. Because I knew Usagi was the Moon Princess, so that was the only thing that made sense for me. Why is there a Sailor Moon? Who is Sailor Moon? There's no Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon comes from nothing.
It's because she's got to fight. The Moon Princess didn't have to fight. Sailor Moon does.
She did, though. Didn't she?
No.
That's a whole thing. She made a promise. She promised to fight the Dark Kingdom.
I think that's talking about Usagi promising to fight the Dark Kingdom.
I guess. Yeah, maybe. Listen, our main character now is like 3 main characters. It's hard to like kind of keep track about if somebody's talking about something she did, if they're talking about Usagi doing it, or Sailor Moon doing it, or Serenity doing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I recognize that the show still has room to explain shit.
Mm-hmm.
You just gave me false expectations for how much
I'm sorry.
this episode would explain shit. And also I'm still just so confused.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These were good episodes.
I'm glad you liked them.
forgot. No, actually, these were bad episodes because Zoisite died, and I want to die.
Yep.
Can we talk about that actually?
Yeah.
How much? Yeah. Are you checking how much time we have?
I think we're good.
So, I'm kind of genuinely disappointed.
Yeah.
Because this felt a little bury your gaze.
I can see that. The only counter argument I really have is, like, they're all gonna die. They're the villains. They're all gonna die. And they all do. Or have so far.
Thanks for that spoiler.
No, that wasn't a spoiler. I was trying to say they all have.
Okay. But, I mean, we still got one down. We're one to go.
I genuinely can't tell you what happens to Kunzite.
Genuinely, because you can't remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, this, like, hit me out of nowhere because this is the only episode where one of the four kings of heaven has died that hasn't spoiled that in the title.
It doesn't spoil it in the title. It does kind of spoil it in the next time on and the pre-cap. Because we see Zoisite, like, falling backwards.
We see him falling backwards, but, like, he's survived a lot of shit.
That's fair. I'm glad that didn't spoil it for you.
Yeah. I always struggle with scenes like that. I feel like I should have cried more at that scene at Zoisite's death, but because I didn't know it was coming, I'm always, like, a little bit in denial.
Huh.
Like, I'm just like, no, that's not what they're doing. Are they doing that? Oh, okay, shit, they did that. And I don't have time to, like, process.
I think I tend to have that reaction for characters I don't care about, but if I really like a character, I will definitely cry, even if they end up not dying.
Right. I just generally, like, my media has trained me to assume that major characters rarely, if ever, die.
Yeah.
So, even though Zoisite is third out of two, or third out of third.
Yeah. Although I guess Jadeite was put into eternal sleep.
He died.
He died.
It's death. I don't know why Beryl put him in eternal sleep and just
she
ganked Zoisite.
She threatened to put Nephrite into eternal sleep, but
and then
Zoisite killed him.
Yeah.
I guess it's because Endymion. Endymion is too important, and Zoisite trying to kill him was too much of a, like, insubordination.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like eternal sleep has, like, you can just defrost him. Maybe. And, like, he's just dead indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
Also, although it is implied that like, Beryl could just heal Zoisite.
Yeah,
like, just bring him, like, Kunzite says bring him back.
But Kunzite was still alive at that point.
Zoisite.
Yeah, sorry. Zoisite was still alive at that point, so I don't know if necessarily now that Zoisite is, like, dead, she could bring him back.
I don't know, the phrasing of bring you back was just weird. But yeah, so it feels a little bury your gazy.
That's absolutely fair.
Which is disappointing. Especially because Zoisite has been probably my favorite of the four Heavenly Kings so far. And I'm deeply, profoundly worried about Kunzite now. Which I don't know I don't know if that's what the writers want me to be. But I don't want him to die.
Yeah.
I want him to be okay. Even though he's kind of a murderous asshole.
He's a murderous asshole. I mean, they all are. They're all the bad guys.
They're all the bad guys, but I still, like, sympathize with... Well, okay. I sympathize with Nephrite. At the end.
Yes.
Before that, he was just an asshole. Even, like, not less misogynistic, but more of an asshole than Jadeite.
Right, sure.
Sympathize
with Zoisite.
Zoisite is a complete asshole, but is fun and has a lot of humanizing moments.
Yeah.
Like, even more so than Nephrite, whose arc built up to him having a big, like, humanizing moment. Zoisite has had humanizing moments strewn throughout his entire existence, basically.
Yeah.
And then Kunzite, who Zoisite was in love with, so, like, Kunzite is important to me now because Zoisite found him important. And Beryl can fucking eat shit. I'm fucking sick of her shit, except for her hot nails.
Is there anything you want to say about Endymion?
I'm kind of mad he doesn't have a gemstone name.
Yeah,
I'm being honest.
That's fair. He's the commander of the Dark Kingdom.
Yeah, I do. So yeah, I do wonder how he's like related exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder why all these cats have fucking gemstone names except this one
Except
guy.
him.
Because
he was
a prince.
He was the Prince of Earth, but they don't say that he was the Prince of the Dark Kingdom. I genuinely don't remember what the deal is.
I assume he was just like in charge of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
also, hey, remember when you were like, "Why isn't there a Sailor Earth?" There he is.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that actually. I like Mamoru, Endymion, Tuxedo Mask being Sailor Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, it makes sense because also Earth is the bad guys in this history.
Yeah.
In this mythos. Well, only because the Dark Kingdom conquered it. So yeah. So, Endymion.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't learned much, actually.
No, we only really got one glimpse of him.
Well, I say we haven't learned much. We haven't learned much about his time in the Moon Kingdom.
His time in the Moon Kingdom, his motivations his, now that he is brainwashed.
Yes, his relationship with Serenity, we didn't see explored deeply.
Or his relationship with Queen Metalia and Queen Beryl.
Yes. This was a big reveal that he worked for the Dark Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was part of the Dark Kingdom.
Yeah.
And if he was the Prince of Earth, then, like, he probably led the charge against the Moon Kingdom.
Maybe.
But, so that, I genuinely wasn't expecting that. I didn't know that going in.
Mm-hmm. So,
that was a reveal for me.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and the fact that they've now brainwashed him, I wonder how, like, I'm back to wondering how much this fucker knows about whatever's going on to him. But I'm, as I am wont to be vis-a-vis Tuxedo Mask, I am intrigued and want to know more.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because he seems like, I super expected him to be a super boring character.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that he's got, like, just a lot of shit going on.
Yeah. It's really hard to sort of square Mamoru being a fucking negging piece of shit.
Yeah.
With how interested I am, generally, in Usagi's relationship with Tuxedo Mask and Serenity's relationship with Endymion.
Yeah.
And it especially feels like Mamoru, I don't know, he doesn't get a lot of time to breathe. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure later he does kind of still have the same personality. He's less of a jerk.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say, I don't, now, this is not me super correcting you. I don't know if I would describe what Mamoru does as negging. I think he's just an asshole.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. He's not really trying to flirt with Usagi.
No.
He's just being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
To this 14-year-old girl.
Yes. So he's still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he's not like a fucking pickup artist.
Right. Sure. That's fair. I don't think I finished my thought. It's just, it feels like Mamoru is not the same as he was.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's evil now, but even before that, when he revealed himself to Sailor Moon, and generally the way Tuxedo Mask interacts with Sailor Moon feels so different from the way Mamoru interacts with Usagi.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
And it's very, like, it's jarring, like, whenever they flash back to him acting like he does, like, after this reveal. Like, just when Usagi learns that he's Tuxedo Mask, the whole little montage. That feels like it's supposed to be, look back on all these moments these two characters have had, but it's also like, it feels like it should be Usagi is trying to piece together how the fuck this could be possible.
Yeah.
And then, like, the moment in this episode where she thinks about him being mean. And, like, it's weird. Like, it makes sense that she's so worried about him that she just that she'd be nostalgic even for the moments where he was an asshole to her.
Yeah.
But it's still like it's jarring for me watching it. Like who is Mamoru Chiba?
Yeah.
Like which layer of this fucking persona is actually him?
Yeah. So, unless you have any other thoughts, there is one last thing I want to talk about.
Okay, I don't think I have anything major, or at least nothing that I could save for another episode.
I think we need to talk about the fact that Usagi is traumatized.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to come out swinging at fucking Magical Girl fans. But I do want to come out swinging at Magical Girl fans. Or rather, I want to come out swinging
at
I don't know why I keep saying this phrase. No, although yes.
Okay.
Just, there are so many dudes. Straight dudes. And, I don't know, lots of people. Lots of people look at shows like Sailor Moon and they think, oh, that's a dumb show for girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dumb show that doesn't deal with the fact that these are children fighting things.
Yes.
And yo, it super does.
It super does. It's not like fucking Animorphs or anything, but
but it's Usagi reacts realistically.
Yes.
To the fact that she is going through a lot of shit.
Yes, and she's like the thing. A thing I especially love about that is that's been her character for ages. It's just come to a head here.
Yeah,
like from the beginning, she like doesn't really want to be a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
She like thinks it's kind of cool sometimes, but she's terrified of fighting monsters, and that has been played as a joke for most of the season. But it comes to a head here as like, hey, she's dealing with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And she's a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
She just lost her fucking boyfriend she hates. And you also want her to just immediately sign on to saving the world by fighting an evil empire.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Artemis, you
piece
fucking
of shit.
Garbage cat.
And also, like, I am gonna swing at Madoka Magica now.
Go for it.
I love that Sailor Moon does this without making it into fucking torture porn. Like, the sailors get hurt, and Usagi is upset and angry about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't feel like it's existing purely to shock the audience. It happens because the stakes are really high.
Yes.
And Kunzite is extremely powerful.
Yes. And
their deaths aren't like, or their near deaths. Aren't like, wow, so much blood. Watch fucking Mako's head get bitten off. They die or nearly die in a way that feels in line with the tone of the show. It's like, it's almost beautiful, especially like the way Rei goes out.
Yeah.
And Ami standing her ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I don't know, I feel like there's a trend. There's a big trend in a lot of, like, magical girl stuff, especially after Madoka, that is like, what if these girls got completely brutalized? You want to see that? Let's watch that. That's cool. Or that's horrifying, but also a little cool. Also, it's a little cool, though. And also, these girls are such idiots for wanting to be superheroes. And also, like, Usagi doesn't want to be a superhero.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, this... Again, I have not seen Madoka Magica. This feels like it, like, touches on those themes, like, actually really well. Like you've said before, like, Sailor Moon is not, like, the originator of the magical girl tropes. It is, like, building off of them. And, like, this is that. Like, this is, like, hey, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, Usagi is going through some shit.
To be clear, I don't want to say that Sailor Moon is the first show to do this, because I don't know. I haven't watched... I've watched a lot of magical girl stuff. I have not watched a lot of the stuff pre-Sailor Moon. So I'm unsure. But yeah.
But, like, she is, like, they managed to fucking deal with dark and heavy subjects without, you know, just blood. Just a ton of fucking blood. Like, it's fine.
Also, like...
You can just do it without that part.
A big thing in a lot of these shows is, like, the girls going crazy, essentially, and losing their minds.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen. And that I'm thankful for that,
Yeah,
because that's real ableist and gross.
Yes, like, and in fact, like, this is the good version of that. Like, Usagi does have a breakdown, but it's not depicted as her going crazy.
Right.
It's like, she is reacting legitimately to the trauma she is experiencing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. Like, it's really well done, actually.
Yeah.
Like, again, I like things having, like, oh, here's a little complex fucking detailed explanation about everything that's going on. Like, I like that shit, but I also like just having a good emotional core, and this has that more than anything.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. There's a ton of shit I could talk about, actually, with this episode. I would love to talk more about Venus and stuff, but if we're already going over time, like, I feel like we're probably going to get a lot more Venus in the coming episodes, so we can talk more about her later on as the season goes on.
So thank you for listening. As always, you can find me at Larena27 on Twitter.
And you can find me at FryLordZerek on Twitter.
And you can find the show at late_school.
And thank you to Kevin MacLeod for the use of his song Semi-Funk.
The moonlight is a messenger of love. I produce a rose from my jacket.
What?
Like, you know, the bit where Zoe says,
yeah,
like,
why is that relevant?
Because you're being like him.
Who?
Zoicide. Remember the scene where Remember the scene where Kunzai was like, "Oh, this lady, she's so pretty."
Why are you talking so quiet? Do you not want
you to
this
cut
to be
this?
the episode?
I want you to cut all of this.
Okay.
Where Kunzai was like, "Oh, this lady is so pretty," and Zoicide was like, "How dare you?" And then was like, "Go away." And then Kunzai was like, "Oh, I got a rose."
Oh. There are multiple scenes in this show where someone pulls a rose out of a jacket.
I said Kunzai.
Okay. I can't remember character names.